During the visit, the Iranian foreign minister is scheduled to pay courtesy calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe and Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The visiting minister and his delegation will also have official discussions with Minister Ali Sabri. Dr. Amir Abdullahian will be accompanied by senior officials from the Office of the President, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Energy and other relevant ministries of Iran. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Iran, Dr. Hussein Amir Abdullahian, will undertake the official visit to Sri Lanka from the 19th to the 21st of February. Iran's foreign minister will arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow, just days after Israeli Transport Minister Miri Regev's visit to Colombo earlier this week. During the Israeli delegation's visit, Sri Lanka and Israel signed a direct air service agreement at the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Aviation. The signatories were the visiting Israel Transport Minister and Sri Lanka's Ports, Shipping and Aviation Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva. The new service will start in March on a scheduled timetable.
This will be a tremendous advantage to Sri Lanka. Israel assured me that they will be giving more employment opportunities to Sri Lankans in Israel, and therefore we need to have this sort of agreement to have safe passage between the two countries. In the same time, this will boost the tourist industry, and therefore this is of much importance to rebuild our economy also.
Coinciding with the visit of the high-level delegations from two powerful states to Sri Lanka, two Iranian military ships have arrived in the Sea of Sri Lanka. The arrival of these two warships coincide with the presence of the Israeli Transport Minister in Sri Lanka. IRINS Bushehr is a 107-meter-long ship manned by 270 crew members. IRINS Tonb is a 94.94-meter-long platform with a crew of 250. Naval personnel from both nations are anticipated to participate in various programs aimed at fostering cooperation. The crew members of the Iranian ships will also have the opportunity to visit several tourist attractions in Sri Lanka. A concurrent training exchange program has also been planned. High-ranking ministers and delegations from two powerful warring states in the Middle East are visiting Sri Lanka back-to-back at a time when tensions are extremely high between Iran and Israel in the Middle East. After the war broke out between Israel and Hamas, Houthi rebels in Yemen who have pledged their support to Hamas begun attacking ships in the Red Sea belonging to countries who have aligned themselves with Israel. Israel accuses Iran of being behind the attacks launched by the Houthi rebels. This situation has significantly increased the risk of ships traveling through the Red Sea being attacked, and a coalition headed by the United States had launched Operation Prosperity Guardian to counter these attacks. It was against such a backdrop that Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe announced that Sri Lanka too will deploy ships to join this operation. The Houthi rebels then released a statement saying that they will attack ships belonging to any country that is involved in the operation against them. We pointed out that this is a decision that would affect both the Sea of Sri Lanka and the Red Sea. However, there has been no subsequent announcement from either the government of Sri Lanka or the Sri Lankan Navy indicating that this decision to send Sri Lankan ships for operations against the Houthi in the Red Sea had been reversed. High-level delegations from both Israel and Iran are now visiting Sri Lanka against such a backdrop. There is one thing that we must understand. That is the fact that our strategic location in the Sea of Sri Lanka is of paramount importance to many global powers. Our political leaders must realize the gravity of the adverse consequences that will befall the country if they take wrong decisions. They should also realize that the manner in which we deal with global powers in line with our non-aligned policy will determine the future of our country. Can the government work with international powers like this? A recent statement made by the Indian Minister of External Affairs, Dr. S. Jaishankar, regarding the purchase of oil from Russia, while he was in the presence of the US Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, is evidence to the fact that such interactions with the international community is possible. This is what the Indian Minister of External Affairs had to say.
Minister Jaishankar, India has more of a multiple choice mindset. Would that be right? From non-alignment to, I think you may have called it, or somebody else called it, all alignment. So you can pick and choose alliances, but you can also pick and choose topics. On Russia, for example, you still buy Russian oil. Is that okay with your counterpart from the US? Everything is, your relationship is fine, you can do whatever you want, whenever you want?
Do we have multiple options? Answer is yes. Is that a problem? Why should it be a problem? If I'm smart enough to have multiple options, you should be admiring me. You shouldn't be criticizing. Now, is that a problem for other people? I don't think so. We try to explain what are the different pulls and pressures which countries have. I would certainly characterize India as a country which is non-West, but which has an extremely strong relationship with Western countries, getting better by the day.
If India can continue to work with international partners following a non-aligned policy, why can't leaders of Sri Lanka, the country that introduced the non-aligned policy to the world, follow a non-aligned policy when dealing with global partners? If the leaders of Sri Lanka continue to prioritize their petty agendas and in the process take wrong decisions, the adverse effects of those decisions will have to be suffered not by these leaders, but by the general public of Sri Lanka and the countless generations to come.